Hey, hello, and welcome everybody. Man, I'm so glad you made it. As you're all filing in, getting comfortable, caffeinating, let me know in the chat where you're from. Say hello, let me know where you're from, and what's the name of your business. Some of you may know me, some may not, so I would really like to get to know you and where you're from. Again, I'm really glad you're here. So glad to have you. I can't wait to share what I'm going to share with you here. This is the first time I've shared this publicly, and in fact, there's a lot here that I didn't share in my book. And when I write the revision, it's going to have a lot of this, but you're going to see it and get to check it out for the first time. So again, as you guys are rolling in, please let me know where you're from. Good, yes, just right there in the chat, where you're from, name your business, and also make sure that you top off your coffee, right? Because there's nothing like getting new ideas or going to a seminar, an event, or reading a book and getting a new idea, but nothing magnifies that more than caffeine, right? So let's get that endorphins, those endorphins banging and popping on all 8 or maybe 12 cylinders, right? And we'll get this thing going. So without further ado, let's get this, as we say in the DYB mastermind groups, wrote on the show. So hello and welcome to Dominate Your Local Market Without Paying for Advertising. My goal is for you to walk away from this with so much encouragement and enthusiasm, ideas, inspiration to just be fired up about new opportunities for your business in a whole new direction, right? It's that new idea, it's that new perspective. Get that whole new life so that moving forward, not only are you going to finish strong this year, but in the next few years to come, right? So imagine, imagine to dominate your local market. Imagine what what would feel like to have high quality leads constantly coming in and closing sales with almost no pressure at all. And you don't need to really study any sales techniques, right? And that's kind of what I meant about my book and how to build your business without making a sale is you do all this. If you implement this stuff and you try these ideas that work very, very well for us, you don't have to worry so much about the sales strategy, sales techniques. And imagine that your community loves you for this. I mean, so much that you're featured in the paper multiple times. You are given awards, right? So you're given community awards, you're given Business of the Month award, and awards from the paper, from the magazines, and then you win Business of the Year, right? Imagine this, because this is what happened for us, thanks to these strategies that I'm going to share with you now, right? But what makes this different? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steve Burnett, and there I am. This is a Wednesday afternoon working with my son, Samuel, teaching him how to swim. And we built up our company to earning over $200,000 in personal annual income a year. Now, this point with me in the pool, I'm going to circle back to this towards the end. So make sure you stay to the end because I have something cool in the bonuses to show you about this and how you too can be home in the afternoon with your kids. I published a book, How to Double Your Business Without Making a Sale. I mentioned that earlier. And very grateful. We got 51 very generous reviews on there. And it was a grind, but it was a very fulfilling thing to do. Again, if I write the revision of my book, which I plan to do, it's going to include a lot of these processes, a lot of these strategies that I'm going to share with you today that aren't in the book, and you get to hear it for the first time publicly outside of DYB. And then we sold the company, right? So we sold it to Kurt and Jen, awesome couple from Boston. They moved down to Florida, bought our company. And since then, we've been flying all over the country last couple of years, talking about a lot of the strategies. And but not in the detail that I'm going to go through with you guys here today, right? And we also have over 200 members in the DYB community that are implementing a lot of these strategies and are seeing success and results. And we may talk about some of them a little bit later. For example, Scott Sheldon says DYB has been extremely important in our business, increasing our revenue and profit. He is out of Baltimore, super guy, very smart and humble, and runs a very successful company. Here's Bill Carlson. Something I love about what he shares is that we save $4,000 a month by joining DYB. What he means is the ad spend. He quit paying for these ads. And at the bottom there says, guys, I'll tell you firsthand, I have saved $4,000 per month in advertising. I have way better quality leads and a group of guys that hold me accountable. Right? Awesome. And you can too. And then here's Damon. I love this one too, because when we talk about double your business, right? And so really it's like revenue, but we all know that sales are for show, profits are for dough. And that's so important. And it's important for us and it's important for you too. And so here Damon says, while I have intentionally not grown the size of my company this year, I have intentionally grown the profit margin, especially with the target market exercise Steve shared with us. Having the focus of what jobs and customers to take on, I have nearly doubled our net profit margin from last year today to this year today. Very cool. I realize the numbers may change slightly, but by the end of the year, up or down. But so far, this is very encouraging. Yes, and way to implement, Damon. Awesome guy out of Seattle area. Okay, so I've done a lot of things right. I've also done a lot of things wrong. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I and I discovered these the hard way, right? But you get to save lots of time and get the easy way. So what was the hard way? Door to door. Yes, I went door to door. At the time, I was single father and I was bankrupt. And in fact, my situation was so bad, the IRS even had mercy on me. That's a true story. So I had to go door to door to try to get some things going when I started all over in Florida again. Paying for advertisements, yeah, the hard way. What a waste, right? And like Bill Carlson shared earlier that he saved $4,000 a month out of Omaha, right? He doesn't have to pay for ads anymore, and he's able to redirect those funds, and whether he wants to put it directly in his pocket or anything else. But those are some mistakes that I made. Ooh, offering discounts. Oh my goodness, I used to make those mistakes, right? And I learned the hard way that offering discounts is it only attracts C and D leads, very bad leads. Sometimes you get an A or B, but offering discounts are C and D leads. For example, the next time you go into a nice restaurant, you'll notice that most nice restaurants do not have coupons because they don't want to attract the C's and D's. So discounts are bad, 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 and the hard way to learn. Want the creative way that made me, I say me, it's us, it's really a team, us profitable? If so, say yes in the chat box. Go ahead, just enter yes, yes. Show me the profit, show me the money, show me the strategies, right? Just say yes there in the chat box. Okay, good, good. So I need interaction. I need to see you guys are with me. Like, yeah, let's get into this. So here's Joe Garbade, back in Venice, Florida, and he runs a successful CPA firm. After we won Business of the Year, he had come up to me to congratulate my wife, April and I, and he says, congratulations, you guys. He says, I'm so happy for you. He says, something I find interesting. He says, everybody knows you, but I've never seen you advertise. Well, here's why, right? But first, 2 rules. I have 2 rules as we go into this, okay? Because it comes down to, your perspective, your mindset. So here are a couple of rules before we go into these. Rule number 1, no C-bombs, right? So I love this image. I've kept it around with me for years. Success comes in a can, not a can't. See, so when we say can't, and this is something I learned from Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, he says our brain stops working. Instead, what we do is we ask how. If we just keep asking how, now our subconscious and our brain will start to think of ways. It's kind of like, mental toughness. It's like sending our brain to the gym to work on it, to grind it out. How can we do that, right? Because I'm going to share some pretty wild and crazy strategies with you. And right away, you might be feeling fear. You might be feeling that you can't do it. But instead, ask how. And in fact, moving forward, I would encourage you to create a rule in your home, in your office, no C-bombs. In fact, if you come to my house and you drop a C-bomb, it's more likely somebody in our family is going to look at each other and go, oh, he doesn't know the no C-bomb rule. Or even, Samuel, my son, he might go, oh, man, he dropped the C-bomb. No C bombs, okay? Instead, ask how. How can we? That's rule number one. Now, rule number two was inspired here. And here's a paraphrase quote from Seth Godin. He said, if the marketplace isn't talking about you, there's a reason. Now, when I came across this quote, the phone wasn't ringing off the hook, right? I mean, we were doing okay, but it was nothing exciting. We were just doing average, right? And so when I came across this, he said, if the marketplace isn't talking about you, there's a reason. The reason is you're boring, and you're boring on purpose because it's safe. Oh, that felt like a punch in the gut when I read that. However, that punch in the gut, it changed my life because it forced me to realize that we were being safe, right? And what's the meaning I give this? It's like being professional. We did everything proper. We did it, we had a nice logo, a nice branding. Everything we did was proper and safe. And nobody was talking about us. The marketplace wasn't talking about us. Nobody else was talking about us. And so I said, that's it, no more. I'm done playing it safe. So that leads us to rule number two, okay? Here's your comfort zone. Here's where the magic happens. So rule number two is we have to leave our comfort zone. We have to go to where the magic is. In fact, if you study the biographies and the books of all the most successful leaders in history, they developed a healthy habit of stepping out of their comfort zone. They were constantly stepping out of their comfort zone. In fact, I'm doing that right now. This is not something that's comfortable for me. My default personality is a high C. I'm an introvert, right? And I've been putting off this webinar for well over a year, trying to find every other way to help and to get these strategies and information out there besides webinar, okay? So just a little transparency there, you guys. Right now, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. So as I encourage you to follow these rules, I too had to follow myself. Just like all the great leaders before us, they had a healthy habit of stepping out of their comfort zone, right? So quick recap, rule number one, no C-bombs, right? Say no C-bombs in the chat, say no C-bombs. Yes, no C-bombs, okay? And then number two, step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. Don't be safe because that's where the magic happens, right? And with this too, I kind of rely more on a philosophy of asking for forgiveness instead of permission. And you're going to see moving forward in some of these, if I would have asked permission, there's no way I would have been approved to do some of these strategies that I'm going to share with you that helped us to do so well, right? To dominate a market without paid ads. First one is remarkable presentations. Now, remarkable spelled remarkable because these presentations are remarked by others, right? Other people talk about them. That's what makes them remarkable. It's not just fantastic or awesome or well done, but it's remarkable because others are remarking about them. That's when it's a remarkable presentation. And so what I did after I read Seth's quote, I got to thinking, okay, how can I step out of the comfort zone, right? And I had just joined the Venice Chamber, and I was new to the chamber. I'd only been going for, I've only been a few times. And so here I am, and it's my turn. But a little backstory first. I get into the room, and while it felt like there were 9,000 people in there, it was really about 90. So I was scared to death. Right? I was scared to death, and I had this remarkable presentation planned that I was going to give. And as they're going through the 90 people that were there, through the wave of people, and everybody standing up, giving their, my name is so-and-so, we operate so-and-so, we do such and such, and maybe a great referral for us is blah, 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 right? It's kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher going around the room because everybody's giving the same safe presentation. And so I chickened out. Here again, a little more truth, a little more transparency. I chickened out. I just said, no way, I'm not doing it. Forget it. Until one of my competitors was there, and they were about halfway through the room. I had already talked myself out of it, right? But my competitor stood up, and they gave their very professional, safe presentation. So I said, okay, now I've got to bring it. Well, I was second to the last person. And I threw a camera, I think it was a flip cam, over to somebody I recognized a couple tables down. I said, hey, capture this. Fortunately, he did. And here it was. This is the very first thing I ever did that wasn't safe.
Have you been following the latest swimsuit trends? Hi, I'm Steve with Burnett Painting, home of the 9-year labor and material warranty. Now, Rory, I know you're thinking, Steve, how are the latest swimsuit trends and painting related? It's a great question. Benjamin Moore has just come out with a brand new body swimsuit paint. Oh. So whether you're all about sporting that thong, or if you're wide body, call 1-800-PAINTING because we've got your back.
Okay, so the feedback I received after that was overwhelming. Everybody was coming up to me laughing, and everybody of all sizes, right? Because I mean, that was a very gray area that I stepped into. There was nothing safe about letting them know, you know, or asking them, you know, if you're wide-bodied, right? There's nothing safe about that. That was very dangerous. And in fact, you can't see it, but my left leg was shaking like a leaf. I mean, it was just going brrr. And at one point, I think I glanced down to see if you could see. No, it was my right leg. Pardon me. My right leg vibrating like a leaf in my pants. I was so scared, and I was still so scared. And so the feedback was so overwhelming. I thought, what can I do next, right? And so here we are. We're at a restaurant in downtown Venice, and the whole chamber's there. The place is full. Not only that, but then there were like regular patrons, right? Regular customers in the back. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So here I am doing it for the chamber, but then we have like regular customers in the back too. But I got to do it. I'm done being safe. Plus the feedback was encouraging, right? So as you're doing these, right, you start with a simple one, an easy one, and then you build up the courage and the excitement to do another one. And so then what I did is I took I made an attempt to sing a Sinatra song, and so here it is.
Whether you're from Venus or Mars. In other words, pick a shade of blue. In other words, call 1-800-PAINTING. We want you.
Okay, right. So they're all clapping and they're roaring. So it's not just roaring because I'm a great singer, did a great job. I entertained them, right? They're so grateful that somebody stood up and entertained them, and I was creative. And again, afterwards, they come up and they said, oh my gosh, that was so funny, or that was great. Just a lot of encouragement, right? What they're saying is, thank you for entertaining us. You know, you think about Russell Crowe and Gladiator. Are you not entertained? You know, and so if you entertain them, man, they will love you. And then, so I did, you know, many more after that. Some failed, right? But I just kept going and kept going. I remember I did a magic trick, and the magic trick just failed. It was with a newspaper that I tear up, and then I open it, and it's supposed to be all in one piece, and it didn't open because the magnets weren't all connected properly in there the one time, you know. But I kept going and I kept doing them, and you know, the community will love you for it when you do it. And then here is the last one that I'll show you in regards to remarkable presentations, but it's the one that just really started to tip, right? You talk about what tips. This one just really tipped, and now we have a tradition within DYB, and many other members have done the Hulk Hogan remarkable presentation, but I'll show it for you here.
That's my comment. Wow, Hulk Hogan, what brings you to the Venice Chamber lunch?
Tell me, Gene, let me tell you, brother. When my Hulkamaniac Steve asked me to come down, I dropped everything and got straight down here. Well, that, and Bell's is having a sale on tights.
Awesome, baby. You came here just for bells and for tights?
tell you something else that's tighter than that, Mean Gene. And that's Burnett's Painting's 9-year material and labor warranty.
Awesome, baby. That's really tight.
Tighter than that. You can reach me at 1-800-PAINTING, and I'll spell it out for you so it's nice and simple, Mean Gene. That's 1-800-PAINT, whatever. I've got one question for you. What are you going to do when Burnett Painting wraps their 9-year warranty around you, brother?
Okay. So now think about this, right? So you take that, you're doing these remarkable presentations, and you post them to social, right? Your networking group loves you for entertaining them after, a bunch of safe presentations, after a bunch of professional presentations, right? And again, I didn't ask permission for any of those because more than likely I would have gotten shut down. And afterwards, not one person complained. That was in from any of the restaurants or the country clubs and anywhere else we were presenting. Nobody ever complained. And in fact, everybody just thought that was hilarious. Now, if I would have asked permission, hey, can I run up and down and jump up and down in a costume? They would have said, no, please, it'll upset. No, so go with the asking for forgiveness, not permission. And so I did some of these, and then what I have teed up for you next is, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, right? And word gets around. And so there was an AC company in town. They called me and they said, hey, Steve, we're a big fan of your presentations. Those things are so funny. We're calling to ask if you would act in our commercial. I said, wow, okay. I said, I've never acted in a commercial before, but thought about it for a second. I said, yeah, I think I'd love to. They said, well, there's one thing. And I thought, uh-oh. They said, we need you to play of the sleazy car salesman. I was like, oh, man. But I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to try it anyway. And so I did, and here it is. And make sure you wait for the end.
Come on down to Man Mike's AC Repair. We're stacking them deep and we're selling them cheap.
Unfortunately, some AC companies are about as trustworthy as a bad used car salesman. They'll sell you a new unit when all you need is a repair, or grossly overcharge you for unnecessary work. But at Presto Air, we're different. We always provide a written estimate up front. We never charge an overtime fee, and we won't sell you something you don't need. So don't call this guy. Call Presto Air. We have the magic touch.
So don't call this guy, right? So then I'd be sitting at Starbucks where I try to be every day, and people will come in. They say, hey, you're that actor in that commercial. And I'd say, oh, yeah, that's me. And then I'd laugh and I'd say, but I'm not an actor, really. I just, played that part. And so they'd ask, well, okay, what do you do? And then that opened up so many conversations into, again, well, we operate this painting company. And that led to even more referrals, right? Because I wasn't safe. Again, I wasn't safe, and I just went for it, and it's paid off in dividends. So every time they would play that advertisement, anybody in my network who already knew me, I'd be reminded. So I stayed top of mind. I was also introduced when people saw me around, Starbucks or whatever, for more. And so here are examples. Now, you may be thinking or tempted of dropping a C-bomb. I can't do that. But I want to show you some examples, and these are just a few. There are many, many more of other DYB members who are presenting remarkable presentations. And so here is my good friend Craig up in Toronto, Canada, and he's got a whole series of these as well now. He's just crushing it. And if you know Craig, he is a very serious, very organized, very professional, very kind, quiet guy, and he's one of the last guys you'd expect to step out and to do these remarkable presentations, but he's doing it, right? He's doing it because it pays big, and here he is with his banana, and I believe it's a skit about, being so appealing, right? And then Mark Lane out of Seattle, and here he is doing, a King Arthur presentation, right? And again, he's done a whole series of these. He's done Hulk Hogan and many others. Mark Polos, here's Mark, or Count Markula out of Chicago, right? So he does a good job with these, and he's got a whole series of them. In fact, there's Mark again, and doing a Mr. T. And in fact, he crushed it with Mr. T. He went all over town. So he did it for his presentation. He went to his paint store. I think he did 3 or 4 Facebook Lives because it was so much fun and he was getting so much engagement out of it. So there was nothing safe about running around looking like Mr. T. But it sure is the magic zone. He gets everybody talking, right? So here's Steve Hobson. He sent me a private message, direct message last, I think it was fall. And he just said, Steve, thank you so much. He was so excited. He's like, we've been implementing what you've been telling us to do. We've been, there he is, Steve Hobson with his beautiful wife out of Southern California. And he says, we've been implementing this, what you've been talking about with remarkable presentations and networking, and we stand up and do these fun things, and look at that, lo and behold, they won Business of the Year. Way to go, Hob. Yes, okay, so here's the next one, right? And I have many more after this too, really cool ones. And so this one is called Yes, Young Entrepreneur Scholarship, and I love this one. It's near and dear to my heart because you get to change a child's life and make an impact in your community, right? And so here we are. This is the Monday 20. So you see the logo on that check. The Monday 20 was my local mastermind group. And so there I am with some good friends. There's Dallas and Luigi and Charlie from my mastermind group. And there we are handing the check over to Madeline, and she won $1,000 for her earrings. She sold these really nice earrings that she made. And so what the Yes Scholarship is what we do is we send out nominations to the community, right? So requests for nominations to the community. And we said, you know of a youth who has a business or business idea, please nominate them. We want to award them. And so we have them come in, and you'll see this was 2011, right? So I don't know when Shark Tank started, but we had the kids come in and present to us kind of like Shark Tank, except it was friendly and encouraging. Not that so we definitely weren't sharks because we were working together to help these kids. But we had our own little Shark Tank going before Shark Tank was popular. I'm not even sure it was on the air. But they come in and they present their business ideas to you. You're able to give feedback. And then we'd offer mentoring and coaching after they were awarded too, and maybe even some of the runners up. Okay. So here's Zach, and this is a super special kid. He had a lawn mowing company, and he needed a new lawnmower. And we even got Home Depot to throw in a leaf blower for them, right? And so what's cool is it changes their life, and they'll never forget it. Your community loves it. And sure enough, look at that. He ended up in the newspaper. And this is just one example that we ended up in the newspaper with it. So Young Entrepreneur Scholarship changes lives, and also lets everybody know that you're doing good things out in the community, right? Speaking of community spotlights. Pardon me there, I'm gonna grab a drink of water. So along with coffee, right? So caffeinate, hydrate, back and forth. So community spotlights are awesome. Again, they give value to your community and to your customers, your client list. And I'm going to show you how. So what we do is you just interview friends in your community, whether it's your BNI, your chamber, your Rotary. I think Mark here, my buddy Mark, CPA, he was in all of them. He was in my BNI, he was in my chamber, our chamber, and Rotary, right? So I reached out to him. I said, hey, how about an interview? I want to interview you. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Keep it fun, light, personable, and transparent. And so we asked Mark. Here's Luigi from Cafe Gelato, his Italian restaurant. There's Bug Control Company, Realtor, right? Karen and Justin with Allstate Insurance. There's somebody Dallas again with AMCO. And then H&H Signs. And this one caught me off guard because when I went to start it, Allie interrupts me after we start recording. And she just says, hey, Steve, I want to thank you for what you're doing. We really appreciate it. She caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. I was we don't use a script, but it was off script if there was one. And what she's saying is that she and the community really appreciates this, because what you do is you take these and you email them to your customer list, right? Because your customers, your clients, they don't want another newsletter, okay? They don't email them discounts or anything like that, but send them this value. Say, hey, I don't know if you're in the market for a mechanic. I don't know if you're in the market for a sign company. I don't know if you're in the market for car insurance, but I just did this interview of somebody that I know and trust, and if you are, you may find it of value, right? So you email that to your customer list, you stay top of mind with the customers, they love you for it. And then your community loves you for this, and it's free and it's quick and it's easy, right? And then you also post it to social. And then Mark, the CPA there in the beginning, he went ahead and put his on the homepage of his website. He says to his, every time I talk to him, he says he gets 2 to 3 calls a month because of that video. And they appreciate it's genuine, it's transparent, and you get a chance to his clients get a chance, or his prospective clients get a chance to get to know him first, right? So I kind of joke around about, who do you think his favorite painting company is to this day, you know? So you give these videos to the person you interview, and then they share it with their market too. And then your name just continues to spread and spread and spread, all in good favor. Ooh, paintball charity championship. Excuse me, more water. So here I am, my buddy Dallas, and he said, hey Steve, he says, you know, we're always doing things with our team, with our employees. He says, how about we get them together? What's something that we can do together? And so we brainstormed this. We said, hey, let's get a friendly game of paintball going. And he said, yeah. And then we said, what else can we do? And he, like us, he's also very involved in the community. In fact, he's president of the chamber and involved in many other ways as well. And so we said, well, let's make a charity out of it, right? So we came up with a C&B Charity Paintball Championship. The first one might have been in 13, maybe it was 12. So we just created a little logo for it too. And what we said was, anybody in the community can submit a 5-man team, any business. So all businesses in the community can submit a 5-man team for, I think it was like $250. And then the winner of the tournament would donate all of the proceeds to a local charity of their choice, right? And it was awesome. And so there's one year with some of the teams, and here we are getting color coded, right? And then sure enough, more press, more paper, more exposure, getting our name out there. It really didn't cost us anything. There was, I think, the $250 for the charity, but you know, no ads, no extra cost. And then also, so here was another thing, culture. Our team loved this stuff. They loved the paintball charity. They got in, they got to have fun. We even created like a chat in between all the teams so they could talk smack to each other, about how they're going to beat each other so bad when it came to the tournament, right? But at the end, everybody wins and everybody loves it. And again, your name just gets spread and spread and spread in good favor. In fact, good favor, what would a half-page ad cost, right? If you ran an ad, what would it cost? So there's the upfront cost of a half-page ad, but not just that. How much does it really cost? Because we ignore advertisements. We ignore ads, right? So if that would have been a great big ad about our business, everybody would have ignored it and went straight to the article or the stories. Ooh, video testimonials. These, again, game changer. And I've got some more for you, right? But first, video testimonials. Jeffrey Gitomer said, if you say it, it's bragging. But if others say it, it's proof. Now, way back when I was doing it wrong, or I was trying to get going, I was trying to get started when I was really struggling going door to door, I used to carry a binder of testimonials with me. But I noticed after a while that nobody was reading them. And so I got to thinking, oh man, we're a society that doesn't read anymore, right? So back again to Jeffrey Gitomer, if you say it's bragging, if others say it's proof, Jeffrey Gitomer, king of sales. I joke around because I spend a little time with him. And I also call him the king of selfies, right? We couldn't get the camera right, and he's a high D in a true high D fashion. He goes, give this to me, snap, got it, and we're done. But video testimonials, we watch videos. So if you say it's bragging, if others say it, it's proof, right? So everybody that would reach out to us, we'd ask them if they've been to our website yet. And then I also made sure that when I was speaking with a prospect, I would say, hey, if I could prove to you that our team provides the best experience, would you be interested? They all said, yeah. And I said, well, given that, would you agree that most people are not comfortable speaking on video? They said, oh yeah. Given that, thanks to our team, we have all of these video testimonials, right? Boom. And that was huge. So again, social proof is just incredible. It's very, very powerful and helped us to continue to grow our business. No paid ads, right? No paid ads. Now, HHIs. HHIs. Okay. I was at a networking event, and this is my buddy Charlie, who's also in my mastermind group. And we were sitting there, and I'm asking around. I'm like, hey guys, what are some vehicles? What's a vehicle that is unique that would stand out? I want a vehicle to drive around, sales vehicle that's unique, that would stand out, and everybody would recognize. And as I'm going around asking all these people in the networking, I think it was like a business after five, my buddy Charlie was standing right next to me, and he says, HHR, right? He's from Boston. I said, HHR, what's HHR, Charlie? And so I pulled it up on my phone, and sure enough, I'm like, that's the one. So within a few weeks, we found one, we bought one, and then boom, there we go. Unique vehicle that stands out. And a quick aside about this, guys, if you're wrapping vehicles, if you have service vehicles on the road, don't fill them up with a bunch of design. You only have like a split microsecond to grab somebody's attention and communicate instantly who you are, what you do, boom, right? So keep it clean, keep it clean. So here we are with our first one, and after 8 days later after the first one, I had ran through the bank. This is a bank in Inglewood, Florida. It's not a bank that I went through very often, but I was down in Boca Grande, and I was coming back up, and I went to make a deposit. And the teller there said, hey, how many of those do you have? I see them everywhere. I said, wow, actually, this is our first one. We just got it a little over a week ago. I thought, my gosh, I could not believe that made the impression that it did. So I just said, okay, we got to multiply these bad boys, kind of like gremlins, like let's pour some water on it and multiply this thing. So we did. We just, we would look and try to buy everyone that we could. In fact, it was so effective that I went and had yard signs made back there with H&H Signs, who I talked about in Community Spotlight, right? So remarkable vehicles, something that stands out, something that pops, that people will remember. And sure enough, we won, thankfully, a national award for it and a spot again in the paper. Ooh, pay it forward. So I love this one, pay it forward. Again, it's an opportunity to get involved with your community. So I'm gonna show you some examples of this. And I honestly believe that no matter what company you have, I'm gonna give you a lot of painting company examples. I also have another one for you that I'm gonna show you. But no matter what company you have, I believe that you can follow the same process and do the same thing with your product or service, right? So pay it forward. Now, Paint It Forward was started by Josh out in California. So I talked to him, and I kind of created my own process for it, maybe Paint It Forward 2.0, if you will. And I created this crazy flyer to, this crazy picture, and put it out there for $3,000 painting charity giveaway, right? And again, I've got the HHR down there in the bottom, okay? And many others have rolled these out too. And so again, you send out nominations to your community saying, hey, we want to paint, right? Or maybe you have something besides a paint. We want a service, right? Whatever your service is. Somebody who needs our service but is unable to do so for themselves. Would you please nominate somebody? So you send this out there, right? And here's Rob up in Michigan. He's in the Davison, Greater Flint area. Awesome flyer out there doing it. Here's Jimmy in New Jersey, right? Here's Sheldon and Sons out of Baltimore, and there's Genesis out of New York. Here's Doug in Denver. And then here's John with One Stop Car and Truck Repair, right? So whatever your service is, you can do this. And so sure enough, we helped John to get his going, to get his launched. And look at this, front page. Now, what's awesome is these are win-win-wins, right? It's not about the promotion. And so, but word gets around and they call you and they're like, hey, we think this is really cool. We want to share the story of what you're doing, which is good because you're going to need help getting nominations. The funny thing about these is that you're not going to get overwhelmed with nominations. And so you get to keep promoting the nomination process. And so there he is, John Junker with his One Stop Car and Truck Repair. They were so grateful, and the community was grateful for him that they gave him the front page, right? The new owners of Burnett Painting. New owners of Burnett Painting retain company philosophy, and there they are, 2-page spread in a magazine, right? Or pardon me, a page and a half. There is an ad down there, but we ignore that ad, right? And so what would this cost? Like in a magazine, your local looks like Home and Garden. I'm not sure exactly what this was, but what a page and a half ad cost that everybody would ignore anyway? But you do these awesome things. You change a person's life, right? You add value to your community, and your team feels better about themselves. And again, your name continues to spread. There they are again, a full page. Looks like a full page article or story in the newspaper. Right? And then here's Genesis up in New York, right? He says, just got the newspaper. The article is full page, completely free. Talk about ABA, right? And so there he is. That's awesome. And ABA is what we refer to as anything but advertising, right? Because we don't believe in paying for ads. As we talk about ABAs and really all of these that I'm going over with you are ABAs. And that's kind of our code word for them in DYB. And then there we are. One Christmas, we got color coded and even thrown some hats with a beard and scored front page. And so I guess technically that's top of fold, right? We're kind of splitting the fold. And then Matt. So here's Matt Jansen. Check this out. Matt Jansen's up and oh my goodness, so it escapes me now. Matt is Wyoming, not Wyoming. Sorry, it'll come back to me. So here's Matt, and he launches a Paint It Forward, and it goes over so well. Montana, pardon me, Matt, if you're watching this, Montana, it goes over so well that the news channels get a hold of it, and they run his story and the story of the lady that he was Paint It Forward for over and over so many times that Matt shared with us that he felt like saying, hey guys, could you not mention my name anymore? Because he just was kind of almost getting embarrassed by all of the mentions and as many times as they're running the story over and over because they just appreciated it so much and what he was doing for them. And same thing that I'll do for you in the service that you provide. Ooh, next, right? Gourmet cookies. Oh my God, this is one of my most favorite strategies out there because this is so fun. So gourmet cookies, take your paint can and create a label on it. Now, so maybe you don't have a paint can, right? What's your service? How, right? No C-bombs. How can you package some gourmet cookies? And so here I was in Cafe Gelato's, my friend Luigi's shop, and we worked out a volume deal with them to move these gourmet cookies, and we were moving, I don't know, six or so cans a week of these delicious gourmet cookies, and we would give them away. So we'd give them away to our customers after we completed jobs. We were giving them away at the networking groups. So, you know, if you're networking, you need to bring in a door prize, right? We would bring in the gourmet cookies. And what we found after a while that everybody loved these gourmet cookies and this idea so much that they were saving it for the last door prize to give away, right? It used to be the wine or what they call the hooch, the wine. But instead it was the gourmet cookies when they bring gourmet cookies because they were such a hit. In fact, I had friends in many offices and professional offices who would save the can and put it on their shelf because they thought it was such a cool idea. So again, more exposure and we're getting out there, right? And then what we did is we made fun Facebook contests. So to keep leveraging multiple platforms, Facebook, the HHR brand, and the gourmet cookies, right? And it's going over today even. So if you follow Burnett 1-800 Painting, Jen is just doing an awesome job crushing this contest, keeping it going because it's like it's that free ABA, right? Ads that look like anything but advertising. It just keeps going. And so what the contest is, it's like, hey, take a picture of our car, tag us, you score a can of cookies. But here's Chris Eaton. He's an awesome insurance rep back in Venice, and he takes it a step further. He finds one of the vehicles. He goes up there and he records a video. And if you go on their page and check it out, he says, show me the cookies. And I don't have the comments or room for all the comments here, but everybody really enjoyed that. And so it just easy way to give value to the community, have fun, and just continue to get your name out there and dominate your market without paying for ads. Ooh, and then we come out with coffee, right? I was so excited about this because I love coffee because it's the coolest thing to drink in the whole world, right? And so we come out with a coffee, and I had, uniquely roasted 9-hour drip, and then I changed to 9-hour buzz. And some people say, hey, Steve, will it really give me a 9-hour buzz? And I just kind of smile. I said, well, only if you drink the whole the whole bag in one sitting. Yeah, I was playing off our warranty, right? 9-year warranty. But what I found was when we ran contests with this, with the coffee, and I was so excited, I'm like, hey, spot our thing or caption this contest on Facebook, win a bag of coffee. And so people would win, and sometimes my friends, sometimes they're strangers, and they would message me, they direct message me, hey, Steve, thank you, I'm so glad we won, but can I have a can of those gourmet cookies instead? So the gourmet cookies are awesome. And we quit rolling out the coffee because the cookies were so popular. And so there they are. Every time somebody wins, get a picture of them, with them, tag them in front of the HHR, the unique vehicle, right, or whatever service vehicle you might have. And it just keeps going. It keeps spreading, keeps it out there. And in fact, we talked about video testimonials. If you look, here are the wonderful Jim and Karen Woods. And we always try to sweeten the ask of a video testimonial with the gourmet cookies, right? So again, here's Matt, and Matt posted, hey, help us celebrate National Cookie Day. We're introducing our new delicious cookies that we'll be giving away to the first 3 people who share this post and title it, I Want Cookies. So look at this, right? He posts that, help us celebrate, and then boom, 20 shares. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So again, that great big photo of his brand and the gourmet cookies just got shared to 20 other networks, continuing to spread his name. And I'm sure it's no surprise that he is dominating his market. He's the #1 company in his area up there in Montana. So way to go, Matt. And if you talk to him, he's one of the most kind, quiet, conscientious, concerned professionals out there. Again, he's just very reserved, very kind guy, but he's dominating his market without paying for advertising. So way to go, Matt the painter. Okay, here's some others. So there's Jim, Venice, Florida. Got to hang with Jim. We went to the Muscle Beach down there. That was fun. But he's rocking the gourmet cookies as well. There's Doug in Denver. There's Jeff, ESP Painting in Portland. And here was right after he rolled these out. This is so cool. I grabbed this and it says best painter ever. After pictures coming soon, but first of this. Final walk around yesterday with Jeff Summers of ESP Painting. Not only was he intent on making sure everything was perfect with our exterior paint stain job, he also gave me a card with all the paint colors listed, so thoughtful, and a gratitude paint can filled with cookies from Blue Moon Painting. Seriously, beyond impressed. That's awesome. Easy, fun ways to give value and stay out there, right? And Jeff, like the others, is dominating his market without paying for advertising. Set a new record. Okay, so this is one of my favorite ones because it was fun and it was creative. And so as you're looking through this, right, you say, well, this might not be for me. And so you might be tempted to drop a C-bomb, but please let me encourage you, just ask how. How can you? What's something you're passionate about that you be able to follow this strategy, right? So that you can receive all the exposure that we did, okay? So again, ask how, what's something that you're passionate about that you can do what I'm about to show you. Set a new record. I was at Starbucks, where I try to be every day, and the manager there, Mary, said, hey, Steve, we're having a special. It's buy 2 pounds, get 1 free. I went, oh my goodness, 33% off? And we went through a couple pounds a week easy. We still do because, well, coffee is the coolest thing in the world, right? So I got to thinking, I'm like, 33, where can I get 33% of my money? So I said, even at a pound a week, that's 50 pounds. I don't know where else I could instantly save 33% of my money. So I called my CFO, and that's my amazing wife, April. And then I explained this plan to her. I said, hey, Starbucks got this deal. Buy 2 pounds, get 1 free. She's like, yeah. She's like, absolutely, grab a couple weeks worth. And I said, well, I was thinking about this, and I think there might be an opportunity here. Because I asked Mary, I said, has anybody ever bought 50 pounds? She said, no, not at one time or in one day. I said, so that would be a local record. She said, absolutely. So how about, and I said, how about we buy 50 pounds, and then I'm going to check with the paper and see if this would be newsworthy, right? So she said, okay, go for it. So I got her approval, CFO signed off on it, and then I called the newspaper. I said, hey, if somebody set a local record for the most coffee purchased at the local Starbucks and then gave some of it away to charity. Would that be a cool story for you guys? Would you be interested in it? They said, yeah, possibly, you know, write it up, or take a picture, get a good picture, write the record up and send it in to us and we'll see. So I did, and weeks went by, nothing. And then I saw a friend in Rotary, which you should join. It's one of the best networking organizations out there. And I saw a friend. I said, "Hey," I said, "who worked at the paper?" Roger Button, who I'm very grateful for. And I said, "Any chance that story may run?" He says, "Grab a paper this Saturday. It might be in there." So I said, "Okay." So we sent in the picture, the story, and bang! Right, it hit the paper. Like, yes! Not only did it just hit the paper, right, but we scored front page. Bottom right, but it's a front page, and I'll take it. So I was forever branded this coffee crazy Starbucks nut. And so even to this day, every time I get a chance to check in at a Starbucks, I keep it going, because here's what happens. When people who know me or know you, right, in your market, and if you're a Starbucks fan and they see Starbucks, they'll think of you. So you'll come to mind, you'll again stay top of mind, continue to spread your name, all in good fun, right? So there it is. What's a record that you can set? So Starbucks, joke around, and we call it Steve Bucks. So Club 50. So this one's fun. Pardon me. Wet the beak there. Club 50. Let me introduce you to my buddy Doug Parsons. He operates a stucco company. And we met at a job. We were both doing a takeoff. I introduced myself and exchanged cards. Well, fortunately, he sent me a referral the next week or so, and we got the job. So I sent Doug a card, and I said, he called me, and he said, "Hey, I got your card." I said, "Okay." And he said, "Never got a card like that before." I said, "Okay." He says, "You just became my favorite painter." So great. That year, I closed over $73,000 in business from him from the first year. Club 50. What is Club 50? Glad you asked. Here's Jeff again with ESP Painting. He says, "Here was my last batch. I sent out 5 referred jobs totaling $24,400 worked for, which were closed on the spot. Cost me $250 in Club 50. Thank you cards." Yes, so here's Club 50, and here's the key. See that crispy $50 bill there? Well, Club 50 is kind of like Fight Club. We don't talk about it. We don't advertise it. It's not like a bird dog. You don't say, "Hey, if you do this, I'll do that." It's an after the fact. After we close a referral, we say, "Hey, John, thank you for the referral. Welcome to Club 50. For every referral we close, I'm going to send you a crispy $50 bill like this one. Warm regards, April or Steve or Bob or John or whatever your name is," right? And then tape a crispy $50 bill to it. So not only was it Doug, but we had customers, clients who love this. We had referral friends who love this. Some realtors. Now that might be a gray area for them. Some may not be allowed to. But whoever may find that this is going to be a fun game for them, that's going to be the way to go. Ooh, iClass. Okay. So this one is really cool because we were at the Friendship Center. We were volunteering. It was April, my wife, and then my buddy Dallas and I, excuse me, we were helping out with the Friendship Center. They're doing a tech class. And so we were doing a few different things, but what I realized was that many of them needed help with the basics of their iPhone, right? So I got to thinking about it, and we started iClass. So I approached the Venice Library, and I asked them if I could help them with seniors and provided an iClass. And they said, "Well, heck yeah." They said, "Yeah, that'd be great because so many people come to us and we don't know how to help them, right?" So here they are. They created this cool little design. They put it all together. They marketed it. They found that picture. It was probably a picture I had on Facebook at the time, and they put this all together. And not only did they do that, but they also let the newspaper know. So the newspaper said, "Hey, can we talk to you about this iClass you have going?" And I said, "Sure." So they got a picture of me. And so I made sure that I was branded, right? I had the shirt, and I put the logo on my iPad and my iPhone. And they wrote this great big article. So sure enough, there we are on the paper again. Well, then word really got out. And the class filled up. Now, when we say full, they had a nice sized room with a projection screen on it. And before we knew it, look at that, 80 to 100 people. And so there's my amazing wife, April, off to the right helping out. And there's my oldest son, Stephen, way in the back, getting ready to help out. And there we are walking them all through, right? Their iClass. And you could say, well, how does that relate to your service? And you say, it doesn't. There is no direct relation to our service. But it was such an awesome way to give value to the community. And what I found was a couple things where some of them kept coming back, class after class after class after class, and then just trying to learn. And then others wanted to know when the next iClass was. When's the next iClass? So I got to thinking, how can we use this? Because I couldn't, I didn't want to make a big advertisement out of this, right? And I couldn't promote our company because it was a library and would have violated. I did introduce myself and say my name and our company where we're from, but a lot of them forgot by the end or whatever. Some would come up and ask for cards, which were awesome, but how could we really take it to the next level? So I kept asking how and created an app, right? So I created an app. I said, hey guys, we've went over a lot of information here. And I know a lot of you would like to know when the next iClass is. So I've created a free app for you to download. And in the free app, it has videos so that you can walk through these on your own. And it has a calendar of when the next iClass is, right? So then with the app, and that's it. That's all I told them. And then I showed them all how to download it. So every iClass, I showed them all how to download it. And they would download it. They'd have it now in their own time. Right, what's going to happen naturally? So they watch the videos and they see the calendar there, but there are 3 other buttons, right? So here they were, our story. So we shared our story, and sharing your story is so important. It lends to transparency and likability, right? So if you've read the book Influence, it'll tell you that those are a couple of the most powerful triggers for influencing others, right? So you share your story on there. So we did that. And then we had the testimonials, right? To provide that social proof, okay, of the experience that our team provides. And then we had the call to action, like here, contact us here. And the leads just flowed in. Whew. It was such a hit, right? They received so much value from it. Here is the librarian and the manager, Roland, and they awarded, I'm not sure what this is called, Certificate of Appreciation, right? So if you go to the Venice Library and you check out iPad for Dummies, it's going to say this book is here in honor of Steve Burnett and iClass, because it was such a value to them, to the community, and it was just a win-win-win all the way around, continuing, right, to spread our name, our goodwill, and you can do the same to all of you without paying for advertising, right? And look at this. You do this, you too will end up in the paper over and over and over again, maybe even making the front page, right? And then they're going to hand you Business of the Month, and they're going to award you Top 40, right? And you're going to be in your local magazines and in your national magazines, right? With all the cool things that you're doing. And then they're going to hand you Business of the Year, just like us and just like Steve Hobson, right, out of Southern California. And they're going to come up to you and say, hey, congratulations. One thing I find interesting is that everybody knows you, but I've never seen you advertise. Yeah, so we've went over a lot. Quick recap. Remarkable presentations, yes. Right? Young Entrepreneur Scholarship, Community Spotlights, Paintball Charity Championship, video testimonials, HHIs, right, or unique service vehicles. Pay it forward, gourmet cookies, set a new record, Club 50, and iClass, right? So we went over a lot. There's a lot there and a lot of ways that you too can dominate your market without paying for advertising, just like we did. And if you're so desired, maybe sell your company too, and maybe publish a book and go help others do the same, right? But let me ask you, I know we had limited time together. Given the time that we had, did we do a good job today and give you information, even if you left this presentation right now? Will you comment in the chat box for me to say, yes, yes, and my goal is to give you inspiration, new perspective and ideas and insight, and maybe a new vigor, right, for your business to get after it and to just crush it. And would you use these to dominate your market without paying for advertising? Inside, let me know in the chat. But okay, good. What we haven't covered here is how to conquer that mindset, right? How to stay out of the comfort zone and into the magic zone, and to overcome fear and rejections and lack of confidence that we all work with. We all work through, every one of us, every single one of us, right? Because it's all in our head. How do we work through that, and how to implement? For your unique situation, right? Everybody's got a unique little twist. So what's the context for you, and how do we implement that? And all the tech that's involved, right? Setting up the app, or maybe the forms to go out, right? And putting these things together. So there's a technical aspect, but we don't have all the time to go over it here, right? Or how to get your team on board for, your Pay It Forward and some of your other events, right? And the step-by-step processes for each strategy. Well, really, we need a board of directors. Now, at the time, I had the Monday 20, right? It was a local mastermind group that some of my great friends and I put together, and we met every week. And so I was fortunate to have them, right? But if you don't have board of directors, you have to. I mean, can you think of one successful business corporation that does not have a board of directors, right? Or board of advisors? No, I don't know that you can get there without one. Everybody must have a board of directors, advisors, a group, a mastermind, right? So that's why I'm happy to announce the next DYB mastermind. In fact, I've got some special bonuses for you guys for those who take action, right? And you can have your own board of advisors, your own board of advisors, right? So what you're gonna get, okay, when you sign up today, bi-weekly mastermind meetings with myself or one of our coaches and 7 other non-competing companies. That confidence, right? That you can trust and you can share and you can brainstorm these things back and forth. And so here's like a picture. We meet over a Zoom meeting. It's a webinar meeting, just like this one here. You can see guys getting rolling. But again, it's up to 7, and we have a lot of fun, and we just push forward, right? Implementing these things. Accountability. Now, if you're in charge of your company, there are many things we want to do. There are many things we know we should do, right? But we don't, because we're the boss, and we'll do them when we're good and ready. Well, we're not going to hit our goals as fast as we'd like to, right? If we want to dominate our market, we need some accountability. And so we set tasks for each other. And so you get up to 3, so our list doesn't get too big of, what do we need to implement moving forward? Maybe I'm just reading a few here, Facebook marketing or community spotlights, right? Or there's a Pay It Forward, and here's a join a chamber, choose a CRM. These are some things that we know we need to do. And if we have a group of people who can empathize with us, but also encourage us to do these things, we're far more apt to make it happen. And then there's a private chat in between meetings. What if something comes up, and what if you need to, talk with your group, right? And so we have a private chat for each mastermind group, and it's just a private conversation that continues in between the meetings, right? Oh, hey guys, I went to start this, but how do you do that? Boom, there you go, right? All the cafe courses. So we have many courses on our website for you that you can go through in your own time to implement many of these strategies, right? And so here's just a couple of screenshots of some of them, whether it's a Pay It Forward, whether it's tech in the cloud, the gourmet cookies, maybe it's Facebook engagement, maybe it's setting up your Mac, or maybe it's setting up your website conversion funnel course. That's so important, right? And then there's the Young Entrepreneur Scholarship. There it is, step by step, so you can implement it and dominate your market. You can pull it up on your iPad, and there it is. I have an example of my sales a video webinar in there, right? You can go through and watch that. But again, to my point, I walked through the sales thing, but if you do a lot of these ABAs, as we call them, right? You won't need much for sales strategy, sales tactics. Many of them are going to call you, and they're not going to call anybody else, as the case was for us and many others. You also are going to get access to the DYB community. This is where all the members from all levels are in here, right? So whether it's a mastermind group, cafe, or one-to-one, everybody's in here. And it's a safe and encouraging private community of everybody working to dominate the market, right? Without paying for advertising, and many of them in there. And so Every week we'll have top 3 goals. We'll kick it off with top 3 goals, and you can post all your goals in there, and everybody's just going to encourage you and help you to get there any way you can, right? And then at the end of the week, we celebrate with big wins. And then, every couple weeks or so, we'll have open mic night. And that's where everybody can kind of come together and just say, hey, what's working, what's not working, what's missing, what's next, or what's your one thing that we can unpack and brainstorm for you. And then sometimes it's like, hey, here's the latest strategy. Here's what we found. Implement this and let's do it, right? DYB. Here's something. Lance Broad of Venice Print Center just shared this. This is a public post on his timeline. If you go there back to January 9th, you can see it yourself. And it says, this is a good question. In my year in review, how many people know what I'm talking about? And he tagged my wife, April, and I. And in there it says, the greatest influence, products, people, viewpoints ever other on me in the last year, DYB. I thought, man, that's so awesome. And then look at everybody else who starts to chime in, right? And I like Aaron Steininger there towards the bottom. He says, like they say in Family Feud, good answer. And he says, in fact, DYB would be a good answer for the next question too. DYB, boom, shlaka. And the second one is smartest decision I made last year. So Aaron, if you're watching, if you're here with us, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Lance, you too. But my point is, what's DYB in the culture of our business developing community? It kept going, right? So look at these. Look at it, kept going. If you go back to Lance, if you check them out on January 9th, it just kept going, and everybody, chiming in, agreeing with them, saying, yo, yeah, which is awesome. And it means a lot to me because the members that we attract are awesome, right? So if you have a little salty side to you, we're not going to be a good fit, and you probably won't stick around long because we're optimistic, we're positive, we're encouraging, and we're doing things, right? If you sign up right now, bonuses. I've got some bonuses that I promised in the beginning, okay? So bonus number 1, but this is only for the first 8 people. You get a DYB poster, which is a $100 value, right? So what's a DYB poster? This right here that everybody has up on their walls, framed. It's our system laid out for you in a cool flowchart graphic, if you will, to keep the process top of mind as you're trying to implement some of these. Okay, so I'm on step 1. What's step 5? Here's step 7. And these things are a hit, as you can tell. Everybody loves them, right? We sell these on our site for $100 a piece, but the first 8 of you sign up for a mastermind group right now will get one of these for free. I'm going to throw it in for those who take action, right? So what you're going to get, bi-weekly mastermind meetings, accountability with your top 3 tasks moving forward, private chat, all cafe courses that I showed you, access to the DYB community, and then the first 8 get a DYB poster, right? The system. Bonus number 2, just for the first 4 people, a month of one-to-one coaching, which is a $650 value. Again, this bonus is for the first 400 people, or excuse me, first 4 people only, one-to-one coaching. Right? So again, you get the mastermind groups, accountability, private chat, all the courses, the community. The first 8 get a poster. The first 4 who sign up right now get one-to-one coaching. Okay, get a month of one-to-one coaching. So that's 7. But if all this did, okay, so if all this did, right, was finally make your business profitable, would it be worth it? If all this did was got you excited about your business again, would it be worth it? If all it did was got you 2 to 3 more A+ jobs, clients, customers each month, would it be worth it? What's one A+ client, job, customer worth to you, right? Just one more, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 more, maybe you have much larger, right? How much would you pay to get that per week or every day? Get your spot now for just $147 today. You can get your spot in one of the mastermind groups. It's just $170 today. And if you continue, everybody continues. Once you're in, it's awesome. It's $147 a month moving forward, right? But today you can get all this for just $147. Click the button below if you're on mobile, or if you're viewing with us on your desktop, it's going to be to the right. It'll pop up right now. And you just click that button, right? And here they are. We have 11 of them going, and these are all Eastern time, right? So they start as early as like 6 a.m. Eastern time, all the way up to 7 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. And if none of these times work, talk to me and maybe we'll launch a new one. Maybe it's time to launch Mastermind Group 12, right? But look at all these mastermind groups. So we could pretty much accommodate just about anybody's schedule. Sometimes it's tough to make it happen, right? But what's important, we have to ask, what's important? We got to make it. We got to do this. We got to get to the next level. We don't want to be safe. We don't want to be average anymore, right? So bonus number 3 for just the top 2 fastest acting people on here, right? Because I want to reward those who take action. Something Brian Tracy said that stuck with me, and he says the most successful see or hear a good idea and they take action now. They go for it, right? They don't hum around. And so that was a new habit that I had to implement. So I love rewarding those who take action now, right? Just do it now. The first 2 people will receive full access to a 30-hour work week. Well, 30-hour 30 HWW, what is that? $1,500. Well, I'm glad you asked. Remember that picture of me in my pool with my son? And I was so grateful. Here we are celebrating because he just swam to me, right? For the first time, he built up the courage he swam to me across the pool. And so we were celebrating. April's out there. I said, grab a picture of this, and she did. But the reason why I share this with you guys is because I think it was Wednesday. It was a weekday and it was the afternoon, about 2, 3 p.m. And I was home. I was able to work with my son Samuel and teach him to swim because of the 30-hour work week. And a 30-hour work week are 30-some courses of all the systems we use to streamline our business, right? So I call it 30-hour work week because that was about the amount of hours I was working from week to week. And then with the rest of the amount of the time, I could spend the afternoons with my family. I could work on writing my book at the time, which I was doing. But I was only working about 30 hours a week, and this was it. So we just outlined, and we have all these videos. Actually, April did. April made all these videos walking you through how to streamline your business. So not only can you be profitable, right, dominate your market without paid advertising, but you can have your time back too. This is only for the first 2 people, right? Just the first 2 people get that. So bi-weekly mastermind meetings, accountability, private chat, all the cafe courses, DYB community. The first 8 get a DYB poster, right? The first 4 get a month of one-to-one coaching. And then the first 2 who take action right away get access to a 30-hour work week at $2,247 value for the $147 today. Again, click that button below now or to the right if you're on your desktop to get your access and to get your bonus. Okay? So you have 2 choices. Right? First option, do nothing, not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. Second option, pony up the small investment today compared to all the value you get in return and just give it a shot like so many others in DYB before you. Right? If it works, great. If not, just ask for your money back and you'll get it. Sign up today. If you don't like it for any reason, I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes from now, just let me know and I'll give you your money back. Let me show you what to do next. Again, click that button below if you're on mobile or to the right if you're on your desktop, and you'll go to this screen. On this screen, very carefully enter your email address, credit card number, the CVC code, that 3-digit super secret code. We have to put in all of them now. The expiry month, expiry year, and then hit complete order. You do that, you're in, and you scored your bonuses, right? So again, you get the bi-weekly mastermind meetings, your own board of directors, right? Your accountability, encouragement, the private chat with your mastermind group, right? All the cafe courses, the community, over 200 others in there, right? Helping and cheering everybody on. The DYB system poster to the first 8, right? A month of one-to-one coaching for the first 4, and full access to 30-hour work week to the first 2, a $2,247 value. Those who take action right now, okay? So get your spot now for just $147 today. Again, there's a full money back. I'll give you the $147 back if this isn't for you. But this is awesome. It's changing lives. And you too will dominate your market without paid advertising, okay? So awesome. I'm so excited for those of you who took action and took me up on this opportunity. You too are going to see some big changes. You're going to be excited about your life and your business again, just like everybody else who are, and all those posts that we saw after Lance's comments there from DYB. And you're going to be able to crack this nut. You're going to have your own board of directors, right? Your own confidence, your own those guys who get you, who can relate, and who are also implementing some of these strategies, and everybody else who is stepping out of their safe zone and into the magic zone, and keep asking how, right? Keep asking how, no C-bombs, and keep asking how, and it's exciting and it's awesome. So for those of you who took action, I congratulate you guys. You've got this. So keep doing good things, right? Think of some other charities, some other things that you can be putting out there, and that you can be giving value to your community, because the law of reciprocity is true through and through. And so the more value you give out there, the more you help out, the more handsomely you will be rewarded, and more likely and quickly you will dominate your market. And they'll come up to you too, and they'll say, hey, congratulations winning Business of the Year. But one thing I find interesting is everybody knows you, but I've never seen you advertise either. Yes, that's awesome. And we want that for you as well. So click that button below. If you're on mobile, click it to the right, and make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity to get in, to get these bonuses too, because it's only while you're on this webinar, right? So that's it. That concludes how to dominate your marketplace without paying for advertising. Just say no to paid ads and paid leads. It's all a racket, right? You've got this. You can do this. We believe in you. Have a great day. Thank you.